Well, my name is Christine. Welcome to FEOLDA's monthly educational session. We do these every month, and the topics do rotate. So on our events page of the website that Dr. Tann had up earlier, that is where we list those. That's likely where you found us. So we're glad you're here. Tonight, we are welcoming both Amy Decker and Dr. Debra Tann. Amy, as she had mentioned a couple times and introducing herself, as a senior care professional in Boynton Beach and the director of client services at Senior Helpers South Palm Beach. And she'll probably say more as we get through her portion of comments later. And also, and with a slide set coming up here, is Dr. Debra Tann, who's advancing dementia and brain health education in rural South Georgia through community-based initiatives. And she's a strong advocate for caregivers, working to debunk myths, reduce stigma, and address disparities in diagnosis, treatment access, quality care, and research, especially in the Black and Latino communities. She's a lecturer at Georgia State University's Gerontology Institute, where she teaches dementia-focused courses, and is the author of The Race of Dementia, currently used in university nursing and gerontology programs. She's an international speaker on this topic and a certified memory screener, virtual dementia tour coach, Oculus facilitator, and National Community Award recipient. So thank you both for being here. We're looking forward to this discussion, and I will let you take it away.
I can't hear her. I think you're muted, Debra.
Yes, I think I was muted and yeah, for sure. Let me back up a step here. Yeah. So again, thank you for having me here. Thank you for all of you who are in attendance. I appreciate you so much for being here. And my task this evening is what I thought to be very interesting, because the question came to me in terms of preparation. What do I think doulas need to know as it relates to caregiving, or caregivers more specifically, for those living with dementia? The immediate thing that came to my mind was caregivers, because but for a caregiver, the person living with dementia is going to have a rather difficult time. So my emphasis is totally directed to and for caregivers, because when I know that caregivers are taking very good care of themselves, I know that the person living with the various dementia diseases are going to be equally taken care of. So my focus with these 5 slides is totally about the caregiver. And I hope that you find them to be very interesting, because that is my focus. Because again, I believe, in my most humble opinion, that if a caregiver is taking care of him or herself, then the person living with dementia is going to be taken care of equally. And I titled this Paint Your Canvas, the significance of self-care. Because when we look at self-care, it's a personalized canvas that is painted every single day. But the most important relationship in your life is the relationship that you have with yourself. And I'm speaking to the caregiver. And I want doulas to know that caregivers are the quintessential piece to the puzzle, never to be overlooked or understudied or under participatory in anything that's being done. The caregiver has to be the central piece of it all. And so the caregiver, I want them to think of themselves that it's not selfish to love yourself. You got to take care of yourself and to make your happiness, the caregiver, a priority. I am astounded daily about when it comes to caregivers and how they put themselves on the back burner. Actually, it is a necessity for the caregiver to take care of themselves. I tell them it's not your purpose to be perfect. I haven't met the perfect person yet walking on this planet. It is, however, to be whole. I put a great emphasis on wholeness. I'm not asking for caregivers to strive for perfection, because there's going to be imperfection probably every day. But I am hoping that caregivers are pushing to become and have retention daily on just being whole. I believe that to experience peace does not mean that your life is always blissful. That's not going to happen. That's not realistic. It means that you are capable, the caregiver, care partner is capable of tapping into a blissful state of mind amidst the normal chaos of a hectic caregiving life, because caregiving life is very hectic and it changes, it's fluid. I like to think of it as being fluid, and it changes on a regular basis and sometimes more quickly than one is actually prepared to handle. But to me, that's how I understand peace and what I want caregivers to understand, and more particularly that doulas, again, have utter respect for the caregiver and what happens in the life of a caregiver for sure. Okay, I'm going to move to my next slide. Again, paint your canvas, the significance of self-care. And as I'm thinking about things, as I'm moving forward, when it comes to self-care, it doesn't necessarily have to be for a caregiver per se. I think in general, this should be an emphasis and a center point in our lives, is that to take care of ourselves, whether it be male or female, it really just doesn't matter. I'm just a big proponent on practicing, if you will, self-care. But we're talking about caregivers on tonight or this evening, and so that seems to be the thrust of where we need to go. So let me move to my next slide. Advance slide. Ooh. Give me a second, please. This is probably a good reason why Christine said send it to her. My slides are not advancing. Okay, sorry about that. Caregivers, do not take your health for granted. Do not take your body for granted either. Do something daily that communicates to your body that you desire to care for it. To keep the body in good health is a responsibility. And I do believe the slide before I talked about being whole. I do think taking care of your health is just a good responsibility to oneself. Otherwise, you will not be able to keep your mind strong and clear. And you're not helping yourself as a caregiver if you're not able to do that. You have to breathe, you have to let go, and you have to remind yourself that this very moment is only the one you have to live for sure. Right now, in the moment, is the only thing that really matters at that particular time. So taking care of your health is very important, and to not take it for granted, because if you're seeking to be as successful or impactful, I think that's a better word. Care partner, caregiver, I think taking care of your health is going to be very essential. So this is my caregiver check-in. When were you last kind to yourself? That's a question to just think about for like 10 seconds. When was the last time you were kind to yourself? When did you last practice gratitude? Think about that for a second. When did you last just practice gratitude? Or when did you last help someone else? These things are essential, even as caregivers, as individuals. These things are very important. And I think this is a poignant question. What can you let go of? As a caregiver, what can you just let go? Just let it go. What can you let go of as well? And I believe this is important. This is not a question. This is really a statement. I believe in that one should consider reframing their thoughts, our thoughts. When we reframe thoughts, particularly the ones that are not positive or not energetic or those negative ones, if we reframe those thoughts, we'll find our mood, our disposition to be just a little bit different. But I think that first one is very important. When was the last time you were just kind to yourself? Not from someone giving it to you, but you did it for yourself. Very important. I think getting outdoors is essential. I hope everyone got outdoors today. Very important. It's important because it's free. It's free to each and every one of us. Nature is one of the best methods or ways that's available to us, that's certainly accessible. It's very impactful for our emotional well-being as well as our physical well-being. I recognize that all of us have to work with what's available to us. Let me see something. I want to move something out of my way here real quick. We all need to work with what's available to us. We may be fortunate enough to live near a beach. I heard Florida mentioned already, or woodland area with acres of space to explore. But you guys, it's okay spending time in a park or a village green or in your own garden can be equally as rewarding or be just as good. The optimum thing is to just connect with the outdoor world and let us make most of what you can see, what we can see, what we can hear, what we can touch, what sense on and our senses on planet Earth daily. We need to be in touch with those. I think that's very important. They who look outside dreams, they who look inside awakes. There's an awakening, if you will. Yes, I can give you tips on how to engage as a caregiver, care partner. Here's some of them. Keep it simple. I'm going to keep it simple. Avoid arguing, use nonverbal cues, reduce stimulation, validate feelings, create routines, give simple tasks, use visual cues, ask for help, use the yes and technique, join a support group, know which specific diseases you're caring for or disease you're caring for, pardon me. Music is a game changer, and accept and grow with changes. I can go on and on about tips for caregivers and care partners. However, my biggest focus on this evening has been the utter significance of self-care. You guys, it's just simple to me. If you're not caring for yourself, you cannot effectively care for anyone else. This is not a sprint of a journey. It is a marathon. Pace yourself and give yourself a bit of grace and mercy daily. This is an African proverb that I like. If you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, let us go together. And that is my spiel this evening on caregivers and care partners and how important they are into this entire process. So, doulas, when you run into these individuals, these are the individuals that I'm expecting profound engagement with, because they are the centerpiece for that home, that environment around that person living with dementia. And I think that is my time. Thank you.
Thank you. And we also have, as I mentioned, Amy Decker is here from Boynton Beach, and we can hear directly in response from her, or I can also ask if anyone has any direct questions before we step away from her slides.
I just want to appreciate the approach, the importance of self-care, because, you know, we're not going to be good to anyone, for anyone, if we're not really rooted in nature and self-care. So that that was just super. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Well, then with that, I will welcome also Amy Decker. Go for it.
Hi, so I'm Amy Decker. I am Director of Client Services for a home health agency. I am a volunteer for Vitas Hospice. I am in dementia, a certified dementia practitioner and a certified dementia counselor through the Teepa Snow personal approach to care. I don't know if any of you have heard of Teepa Snow, but she's fabulous. And if you have heard of her or you've ever have questions or concerns about how to deal with a patient or a client or a loved one that has dementia, she has tons of YouTube channels. She's excellent at what she does. And so I teach all of our caregivers a 4-hour course every single month as we have onboarding for new caregivers, because I think understanding what dementia is all about and what it does physically to your body is so important for people to understand why they say the things they do, why they act the way that they do. So dementia is a chemical and a physical change that happens to your brain. Dementia is the big umbrella. Underneath that big umbrella, you've got Lewy body, you've got Parkinson's, you've got Alzheimer's, you've got Korsakov's. There's probably 200 different forms of dementias underneath that umbrella of dementia, but all of them do similar things to the body, each have their own characteristic. So what we need to keep in mind is with the brain itself, it begins to atrophy and it pockets holes. So very often they're going to ask you 67 times, what time is dinner? Where am I going today? Why am I not at the, because they're, anything you tell them with that short-term memory is going into their pocketing of their holes. So they can't retain it. So it's difficult as a caregiver because now you've answered that same question 67 times, but they can't retain it. So it's not that they're doing it to be difficult. They truly cannot hold on to what you're telling them to do. Dementia affects the entire brain. So even visually, normally with a normal peripheral vision, if you put your hands straight out and look straight ahead, you should be able to see your fingers still wiggling. With dementia, it goes all the way here, then it goes to binoculars, and then one eye shuts completely off and this one opens and closes. So they can't see what's going on around them. They can't see anything down here or to the side. So we often ask our caregivers, when you go into the room and you're there to take them to dinner, you're there to take them to give them their shower, don't come to the side. They don't see you coming. Walk 6 feet in front, let them see you, let them hear what you're going to say. So it's visual, verbal. I'm here to take you to breakfast. I'm here to give you your shower. I'm here to give you a medicine reminder. So it's visual, verbal, then touch. Now they understand what's going on. As they go further into dementia, it's even more so. Very slowly let them know what you're doing. Otherwise, you're frightening to them. It also affects sensations on their body. So the highest point of sensation when they have dementia is lips, mouth, and tongue, fingertips and palms of the hand, bottoms of the feet, toes, and genitalia area. Those are very highly sensitive. So they can cut their arm, they can bruise their back, they can knock their knee out. They're not even going to know they did it. But put a spoon in their mouth, they're going to spit and spit it out and push it away. Put them in a shower where the shower is hitting their face, their genital areas, their hands, their feet. Often they don't want to take showers anymore, but they can't verbalize why. They can't say, well, that's hurting my mouth, it's hurting my hands, it's hurting my, they don't know. They just know when they get in there, it's uncomfortable and it's horrible. And I think the biggest struggle we have with our dementia clients and patients are to get them in the shower. They don't want to get in there because it's uncomfortable. They could be cold. They could be modest. So what we've told our caregivers is put 2 towels in the dryer. Put the water on in the shower. Get the bathroom warmed up. Put the warm towel around them where their clothes are on and just take their clothes off underneath the towel. You can put them right into the shower with that warm towel on. Wash them with the towel. Now you've got a fresh one to wrap around them to take them out. So if they're modest, you've got them covered. If it's the lips, mouth, and tongue, genital, hands, feet, those are covered. And if they're cold, that's covered. They can't verbalize what that is that's going on with them. It works wonders. And what happens is very often with family members or spouses, my wife needs a shower. She smells. She's putting on dirty clothes. My mom needs to they rip their clothes off. They throw them in there. Now they've made an issue out of a shower. And now there's an issue with the shower. So not only does that encompass the shower, that encompasses the entire bathroom. They don't even want to step foot in the bathroom now. So sometimes they will go and start defecating in the bedroom or in the kitchen. They don't even want to walk in there anymore because it's giving them a bad experience. So try to stay within their reality, understand what's going on in their head. And that is the hardest thing to do as a caregiver because you don't understand all the time. But if you can understand what's going on with their brain. So vision is huge with the binocular or monocular. Sensation is huge. Taste is huge. Their tastes change. At the end of dementia, mid to end, the only thing they can taste is sweet and sour. So often they don't want to eat roast beef and potatoes and carrots and what they want ice cream, they want chocolate, they want licorice, that's why, because they can taste it. So imagine putting a chunk of roast beef in your mouth or potatoes or carrots and you can't taste it. So they spit it out, they'll pocket it in the side of but give them a scoop of ice cream. So they have now little cups called Magic Cups by Nestle or Hormel, and they're meal supplements that they can take that taste like ice cream, but it's a meal supplement. So you can give them that. It's something sweet. It's something that is good to their palate, and they can taste it. So getting them to eat or even stay hydrated. Here in South Florida, it's very difficult, especially when it's hot, to get them to eat and to drink and to stay healthy because often their brain shuts off and says, I'm either not hungry because I just ate, or I forgot I ate. Now I want to eat again. And I want to eat again. And I want to eat again. Or I don't want to eat at all. So it's just kind of, like I said, staying within their reality to understand what their normal is. It affects vision too. So one of the last colors they see is lime green. Lime green. Often they'll put lime green stickers over their door switches. They'll put lime green stickers on the handles of their walker. They'll put lime green next to the clock next to their bed because they can see that. Lime green is the last. So all of our caregivers through Senior Helpers wear lime green shirts. They're afraid of black, especially if you have Lewy body dementia. The color black scares them. It looks like a hole in the wall. A turned off television looks like a hole in the wall. They're going to go up and look in front of that television and see their reflection. There's somebody looking at them. So here's a hint. If you have somebody that doesn't want to get out of bed, and we find very often, they're depressed. What's their focus that day? What's their purpose that day? We're all born with a purpose. So we're all born, I can't wait to ride a tricycle, to ride a bike without training wheels, to get a job, to drive a car, to get married, and now you're 80 years old and you're not allowed to drive. You've got somebody giving you a bath. You've got somebody cooking your meals. You're not allowed to touch the microwave. So you wake up in the morning when before we had such a full life and a purpose. What's their purpose? They don't have one now. So they want to lay in bed. They don't want to get out of bed. They're depressed. What we find is if you can get them out of bed and give them something to do, find a purpose for them. If it's even you know what? I need help in the kitchen. I just need you to help me in the kitchen. I need help in the garage. Can you come and help me once they get up, lay a black blanket over their bed, they're not going to get back in. They don't like that color. That color frightens them. Colors are huge, even with eating. If you put a white plate down, white is it's the last thing that they can see. So if your blinds are closed and they're all white, crack them open so they can see through the blinds. White is invisible to them. You have a white plate with a white piece of bread and a white egg. They're not going to eat that. They can't see it. Get a red plate and put something on it so that it stands out to them. That's a great way for them to see the food, and now they understand what that is and they want to eat it. That's been very helpful. Dementia affects the left side of your brain. So the left side of your brain is reasoning, problem solving, speaking in full sentences, being able to communicate with somebody deeply. The right side is music, rhythm, prayer, songs, racial slurs, swear words, filthy talk. That's all preserved. So you find very often those with dementia adapt a filthy mouth. They say things that they would never have normally said in a million years, because that's the right side. That's all retained over here. They're gonna say things that come out of their mouth and you think, oh, why on earth did you say that? It's all stuck there, saved. Left side. So for instance, Tony Bennett, Glenn Campbell, they could go up and sing a full 2-hour concert, word for word, every single word to it, but get backstage, can't speak a full sentence, because this has been retained over here on the right side of the brain. So dementia affects the entire body, and depending on the level of where you are with it, it affects your vision, your taste, everything about you. So it's understanding that very often, and shut me off when I'm done. Just tell me to stop, because I'll keep going. Tell me when I'm done. Very often they say, I want to go home. This isn't my home. I want to go home. I don't like this, and I just want to be home. What they're saying is, I want the feeling of when I felt comfortable at home. It could be that they're cold. It could be that they're hungry. They might have to go to the bathroom. They're missing that comforting feeling of home, but don't even understand how to verbalize that that's what it is. So if you actually put them in a car and drove them to their house, it's not the vessel that they're looking for. It's the feeling of what they feel like when they were at home. So it could be any of those things. So often I want to go home, get them a sweater, get them a little snack to eat, find out maybe if they have to use the bathroom. It's just trying to figure out the perfect answer to whatever that problem is. It can be the same with showering. It can be the same with eating. Music, like Debra, you had mentioned too, music is huge. If you can find, what we do with our caregivers is we have them download on their phones music of their era. So if you have somebody that doesn't want to eat or doesn't want to take a shower or is just being difficult, or sundowning is huge. It can be from something very mild where they're irritated to combative. We had a gentleman crack a lamp over one of our caregivers' heads. He forgot who she was. She'd been there all day. He had no idea who that person was. So playing music from their time frame is really helpful to them. It calms the spirit. It's like bringing that baby doll in to the gentleman that had Parkinson's. There's something in the brain that woke up and calmed his spirit. And music can do the same thing. You can walk them right into the shower. They don't want to take a shower. Put some music on. Now their brain is thinking of something completely different. So it's a great way to combat a difficult situation. Sundowning is so huge. I know that Teepa Snow had mentioned, when you figure out the time of day that they're having a bad time, sometimes sundowning starts after lunch. We have a couple that start right after lunchtime, where they immediately are confused. They don't know where they are. They don't know what's going on. So what Teepa Snow says is shut the blinds, turn all the lights on in the house so they can't see what's going on outside, put some soothing music on. Get an infuser that has lavender that's calming. Get them to a calming moment. Now, sometimes that doesn't work. It just depends. But sundowning is a huge problem. I know that a lot of our caregivers have to deal with, and we've had lots of problems just with that. But we find ways, like I said, to stay within their reality so you can find out what works for them and what doesn't work for them. And I don't know how much longer do I go?
I think all of this information is excellent. And I think both these topics, Amy, the practical categorization of behavior is excellent. And also in great complement to, I'm feeling overwhelmed. I have no one in my life right now who has dementia, or am I caretaking anyone with dementia? And I am feeling that anxiety, Debra, that you addressed. Taking taking care of yourself and realizing that level is rising and must be addressed. We can open it up at this point to questions if people are interested. We did have one in the chat from Pamela about discussing how to get a proper diagnosis, especially for anyone who might be refusing assessment.
Mm-hmm. That's a difficult thing to do. I know in our area, and Deborah, you may find the same in your area too. We have several neurologists that do studies, and they don't have to know that that's what they're going for, but they have studies where they do all sorts of testing, and then it even goes into blood work as well, that will then give them an actual diagnosis of what's going on. But Deborah, you may have a better answer for that.
Well, I'm going to give a complimentary answer to what you just said. I teach in my class, and when I do presentations that, and I know it may sound discouraging, but I am convinced that one cannot get someone to a neurologist unless they've decided that they want to go.
Mm-hmm.
You can't make anyone do anything. I don't even know that if it would be advantageous to coerce them into doing anything, because you will see some things, they will react to that. So I say this, that you just really have to hang in there. I've known people who had to wait 2 years before they can get their loved one to become assessed. It has to be on their terms. And so I just say, in the interim, just love on them, just encourage them, and just keep checking periodically. Eventually, you're going to get them there. You want to get them there on their terms, though. And I know you must be thinking, well, how long am I going to have to put up with these behaviors until we get to the doctor? It varies. But I tell you one thing, it's going to take longer if you try to insist.
Hi, my name is Pam. I just like to add one. Thank you. Those were great advice. But the issue we're up against, and maybe you can help here, I should have been more clear. So I take care of somebody who has Lewy body. I believe her husband he shows strong signs of frontal temporal, but he wants to take care of everything for her, and he can't. And we don't know how. He won't let us now. He's shutting down all doors. He wouldn't let me in today. He wouldn't let the facility in. He's just, I can do it. I can take care of her. And we know he can. He has a walker. They're in their late 80s. And so we don't know how to get a proper assessment for him. He's refusing all care for him and his wife. So it's becoming.
Do you have any other stakeholders that can help you? Any other stakeholders in the game that can assist you with this? Or
the facility tried today, but because he was violent, they said we're hands off. We can't put our. So the next thing would be is to call in a mental health mobile crisis team to help.
Mm-hmm.
So are they both in a facility, he and the wife?
They live together, yes, and independent living. Yeah,
independent living.
Wow.
And what's your relationship to them?
I'm a caregiver, but they have today. She's fine. She's typical Lewy body. She gets very confused, but she still knows who I am, and enjoys me. But he is shutting off and cutting ties off with everybody, all doctors, all caregivers, everybody.
Do they have a power of attorney or a healthcare surrogate in place for them?
Yes.
So who is that?
That's his grandson.
So the grandson should be able to step in and make decisions for them.
Yes.
If he's got power of attorney and healthcare surrogate. And I worked in elder law for 7 years, so I know exactly. The grandson should be able to step in and make decisions if he's not able to make clear and proper decisions for himself and his wife, especially if it's something that's harmful.
Yeah,
so
we know if he does that it's going to get really bad. So we were trying to avoid that, but I think we're there. So thank you.
It sounds like you're there, because if he's keeping her from getting the care that she needs and shutting all of you out, that grandson needs to step in and start taking charge right now.
Okay. He did just recently got in contact with an elder law attorney.
Good.
So, thank you.
How's the
wanted to make sure we're on the right path.
Well, the grandson and the grandfather get along well. Does he trust his grandson? No.
Well, he used to, but of course, we all know they think they're being stolen from. Like it's all there. Like you're stealing from us. Where's our money?
But that's all part of it. Honestly, that's all part of it. They all believe that. They all believe they're being stolen. They all believe they're getting shystered behind their back. It doesn't matter at this point. If he has got If he has got power of attorney
Mhm.
and healthcare surrogacy, he can step in right now.
Okay.
And it's going to probably get ugly,
Yeah.
but by law, that grandson can now make decisions for the wife.
Okay. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
It's a hard place to be, but
It's a hard place to be.
things like this are really helpful. So thank you all, because I just
Yeah.
wanted to make sure we were on the right path, and you're confirming to us, yes, you're doing everything that you can, and it might get ugly. We just are trying to avoid that, but because we don't want that for them.
The good thing is they legally put that together. I can't tell you how many times people walked into the firm and said, you know, now mom doesn't even know what day of the week it is. Mom doesn't know who the kids are, and they want to get they want to have her sign off on a power of attorney or a healthcare. You can't. So sadly, so many couples put themselves, you know, oh, you have power of attorney. Yeah, it's my wife. Who's oh, it's my husband. No, because if that happens, like in this case,
yes,
you can't make those decisions. You've got to get a successor to that. So what the next step is guardianship. And that is expensive and it takes forever. And I've got a couple of people in my support groups where the daughter had to get guardianship over her mother. Now, every decision that her mother or she makes for her mother, she's got to get it approved by the courts. It's not guardianship. So if you can, the biggest thing we tell people is when your kids go to college at 18, get a power of attorney and a healthcare surrogate for them at that time. Actually, you can put it on a zip drive that looks like a credit card that's got a little zip drive they can stick in the computer and put it in their wallet. They go off at 18 and get hazed and go to college and pass out and throw up or whatever. They're not going to call you to make decisions because now they're 18. That continues. But every 7 years, check that paperwork. That person that you wanted in charge of you, you might not like them anymore.
Yes.
They could be dead. They could be dead. I mean, it could be you don't trust them. So every 7 years, look to see who you put in place. But everyone from 18 up should have a power of attorney and a healthcare surrogate. Or you have a situation like this.
Yeah, thank you for that reminder.
Yeah. That's huge.
Thank you.
You're doing the right thing. Any other questions about dementia or care or?
I just want to say your information was really fabulous. It's stuff I haven't heard yet. So it's not new information I can take to this family and give them, you know, the very specific stuff. So I appreciate that.
And with Lewy body, I have to tell you too, one of the things with Lewy body, if you find that she's maybe not wanting to do certain things, one of the things we find with Lewy body is they like to mimic. So there was a woman that was at the Carlisle in South Florida here, and her daughter wanted her to brush her teeth and swish with water and spit in the sink, and she just wasn't getting it. They like to mimic. So the mother liked to walk the hallway. She couldn't get her back into the apartment. All you have to do is walk in front of her and watch her walk in front of her. She's going to mimic you to walk right in to the apartment with brushing the teeth. So we did it together. We all brushed our teeth together, filled our mouth up with the water, and she followed it. So sometimes when you say, no, I just want you to spit it out, just spit that out and do it with them. They mimic. Lewy body wants to mimic what's going on. Lewy body is its own little thing all by itself. They see hallucinations. In most cases, they see small children or small animals. And then they'll see something terrible sometimes that goes on, but they'll mimic you. If there's something you want them to do, instead of forcing them to do it with them, do it in front of them and give them something to follow. So that is one of the biggest things that we follow or that we find with Lewy body is they just want to follow you. And it's easier than forcing them to do it.
Yeah, I have.
Oh, go ahead,
Go
Kathy.
ahead, Shanti.
Oh, well, I was just going to say, and we'll go with you next, but with as far as getting them to someone to shower, with my father-in-law, we had him going to the Easter Seals Altrusa house here during the day, and so he you know, he enjoyed getting up and out and having his day filled with activities, and it was good. But they would give him breakfast there. So if he wanted breakfast. Okay, we got to get our shower and then we'll, go off to breakfast. And they also had a CNA coming in and giving him his shower because the family dynamic sometimes is just rough.
Yes.
And it's better if you have somebody who is efficient at it or good at it. They just know the little tricks and this information would be very helpful, I think, to them. And just the other comment I have is about with my mother. I lived with her for 3 years with Alzheimer's, and I heard the red plate idea. But I also realized that in our reality, we're like moms. We want our kids to eat. We'd be like, eat, eat, eat. And, sometimes is they're at the end of life and they just don't want to eat. And it's okay to not eat much
Yeah.
or to not eat. So I would make her a little toast with peanut butter and I'd cut it in 16 little squares, little half-inch squares with a little peanut butter and one raisin on each one. And if she wanted some of it, that was fine. But I heard all these tricks about put chocolate syrup on their spaghetti or make them eat. And it's just kind of funky that people need to know not eating is okay.
And you're absolutely right with that.
Naturally, as we're ending, and people just don't get that. So it's just want to mention that.
You know what I found helpful too is they have those little mini muffin tins. So not the big muffin, because that can be overwhelming. Food often can be overwhelming. You put this big giant plate of food and they're looking at it like, number one, I'm not even hungry. And now what am I going to do with this? So if you get the little mini muffin tins and you do whatever kind of muffin mix and you add a little bit of vegetable, a little bit of chicken or a little bit of sausage and cook it all in that muffin, it's a mini muffin. So it's small, it's warm, put a little butter on it. They've got a little bit of everything then going into their mouth. And it's not a big chunk of something. That can be overwhelming. And often with their hands, they can't use the silverware anymore. So cutting up things and a mini muffin they can pick up with their hand and it's warm and it's yummy. But put things in it like beef or chicken or turkey and a little bit of vegetables and mix it in a batter and just make mini muffins. That's way easier for them to eat and they're getting nutrition. Because you're absolutely right. To force them to eat, they pocket it, they spit it out. They don't want it. They don't want it. You're right.
And now, Kathy.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, thank you. This will be for either Amy or Debra, I guess. I'm just curious in your experience around touch. How, and I have a little story, but I'll share it after maybe you give me your insight and your experience. Gentle touch, what has been your experience, your observations around their response to touch?
I don't know that. I find in working in this space that everybody I come in contact with the various diseases, and they've already been enumerated. When you've met one person with dementia, you've just met one person with dementia. So some people may want to be touched. Others may want you to stay away from them. But what you will always do, which is highly encouraged, is to request, may I touch your shoulder? May I touch your hand? You don't want to assume anything, and you always want to preserve dignity and respect because we are talking about adults. So I make the ask, but it's just different for everyone. Some people will want that, but others may not. So it just really depends. And it's important that we not be cookie cutters with any of the people that we involve ourselves with. And one other point that I want to quickly make is that when it comes to dementia, I think it's important that all audiences understand that dementia is not a disease. It's merely symptoms only. And that's really important. So we've talked about a host of symptoms, hallucinatory, delusional, memory loss, and all these things. Those are symptoms which equal to dementia, or dementias, plural. If there's a lot of symptoms going on, it becomes dementias. And of course, they're associated with what of the diseases, the Lewy body, the frontal temple, the Parkinson's, the Alzheimer's, or the vascular. So I just always think it's important that we be on the same page and understanding specifically that dementia is not a disease. Thanks.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, Deborah. Mm-hmm.
What was your story, Kathy?
Yeah, real short, without getting into any detail. I had a client, and part of what I do is massage. Okay, and the family hired me to be with their dad, and he ended up in memory care. I saw him every Friday, like for 2.5 years. Brilliant man. He had like 85 patents to his name. Brilliant man. And at one time, toward the end, not of his life, well, I was touching him, his hands, his shoulders, just really gently and loving him with my touch, as I say. And he looked at me right in the eye. He goes, Kathy, I know I'm losing my mind. He says, but I will never forget your touch. And I think he was actively dying. This was down the road, maybe 3-4 days before he passed on. And I was with him, and I was just holding his hand, and he wasn't talking at that time, but he woke up and he looked at me in the eye. He says, I remember your touch. And this was like he was gone by then. I mean, mentally gone, really. I don't even think he knew who I was, but something. And I'll never forget that. And so I was just wondering, because I'm drawn to more of end of life dementia, people that have dementia at end of life. And there's something that I'm pausing, because I'm like, maybe this is going to sound really crazy, but I'm going to say it anyway, if I may. I work with the elderly too, and active seniors, all of that. And just looking at them in the eye, and I'm like, yep, they are who they are right now in your life. And I'm like, yep, the mind, right, but their soul, their soul doesn't get dementia. And I'm like, I think someone should teach how do you, to connect with that aspect of someone, and what is that, and what would it look like, and I don't even know if you can define it, in terms of a course. But I think, is that even worth discussion in a circle of caregivers? And what does that mean? What does that mean? I don't know. I'm just curious.
I think that's beautiful, and I think you're absolutely right. And I think that their soul and what they feel is so important. So, for instance, somebody may come into the room and they don't know who you are, and you may be the daughter or the spouse, and they love to say, do you know who I am? Do you know who this is? They don't, but they know how you make them feel.
Okay.
So if you leave an open-ended question, which we always tell our caregivers, don't ask open-ended questions. Do you know who that is? Do you know who I am? What did you have for lunch today? Give them that memory back. Let them walk in the room and say, hi, it's Amy. I'm your daughter and I love you. They know, she may not know that I'm Amy, but she knows Amy's face, and she knows that Amy loves her, and Amy makes her feel good. He knew Kathy made him feel good. Whatever it was the touch, it was your face, you made him feel good. They may forget who this vessel is, but they recognize it as, you make me feel loved. You make me feel important. And so that's what I tell. A lot of times kids will go in and say, Mom, do you remember me? No, don't do it, because they're going to see your expression is upsetting. They read body language. They're going to pick up, they said the wrong answer. Don't ask those anymore. Don't ask ever again. Who am I? Do you love me? Do you remember who just be you. Just be you. And Kathy, you going in and touching those people and making them feel special, he remembered you because of that. He saw you and he felt you. And that's what was special to him. And it's the same for spouses. It's the same for children. You make them feel good. You make them feel comfortable.
And if I could just reiterate what you're saying, I just had a client tell me, so her partner, long life partner, is probably maybe there 30% of the time where he knows who she is, but she just had an experience with him that you're gonna love, and she was there, talking, and she's got a very gentle voice, and he does too. Brilliant man, and he's talking to her, and he says to her, you visit me a lot. Aww. And she knew right there that he didn't know who she was. And he said, and I think I'm falling in love with you. Can I ask you to be my girlfriend?
Aww.
She played along, just like you said. She said, I would love to be your girlfriend.
Oh, that's so sweet.
How sweet. So it's the same thing. She made him feel good.
Yes.
He didn't know who she was, but man, she knew he knew her presence was what he wanted.
Right. That's adorable. And that's exactly what it is. If that memory makes them feel good, that person makes them feel good, that's what they remember. They may not recognize the face or who they are in their life, but that's okay.
Yes.
It's okay. As long as you feel loved and accepted. That's sweet.
I really believe that what we're talking about is applicable to all of us.
Yes.
We all want to be validated. We all want someone to say, I see you. I identify with you. I get it. We all need and want that. A lot of times with people living with dementia, that I often juxtapose it to is a lot of the same things I want, and I don't have dementia.
Yeah.
Yes,
Go ahead,
Bernard.
Bernard, did you want to say something?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, good. So my closest friend died a few years ago, and he was a Zen monk. And one of the things that he said, it's got everybody's attention that he ever said it to. I don't know the age bracket of everybody here, if they can remember the medical diagnoses, hardening of the arteries. Does that mean anything to anybody? Years ago, when they didn't know, dementia and its various ramifications, everybody had my grandfather had hardening of the arteries.
Or they were senile.
Yeah, senile, right, hardening. Okay. So my friend said that the most insidious disease that we have to push against as we age is hardening of the attitudes. He coined that phrase, and it's as I get older and people that I know are getting older, that's really a true issue that each person really has to individually deal with. I mean, they can get help from outside, but it has to be dealt with. Just wanted to pass that one on.
I agree. That's wonderful. You're right.
That's a good one.
Go ahead, Kathy. Did you want to say something else?
It's not really I just wonder, too, about care, baby boomers, right? And just a wonder question with dementia and the statistics. And I just get curious. I'm like, wow, the importance of family members really understanding what you are presenting here tonight, Amy and Debra.
And most don't.
Right.
I have to say the biggest problem is not necessarily the patient or the client that's got dementia. It's the family dynamics. They're in denial. The husband's in denial of the wife. The wife's in denial of the husband. The kids are in denial. My mom knows better. She shouldn't have done that. My dad. It's the
Yeah.
family dynamics is my full-time job, is trying to figure out how to get through to them that they have to live within that person's reality. They see their mom, they hear their mom's voice. What comes out of her mouth and her actions are not the mom that they knew. Same with the spouse, same with the dad. They see their dad. They expect their dad to be their dad. He's not their dad anymore. So the problem is, and I find this even with my support groups too, they are going through a grieving process from the day that that was diagnosed. They are mourning that relationship of a spouse, a mom, a dad, a child, whatever it is. They're grieving somebody that's still here. They are mourning somebody that is still here. So they're grasping at everything that they can, thinking mom's going to get better. And when I ask her that question, she's going to know the answer now next time. They're not.
Mm-hmm.
It's progressive. It's just going to get worse.
I also want to say, though, when people would tell me that my mother's not my mother anymore, I would feel hurt by that. And I would say, she is my mother. She's different now.
Exactly.
And so that was, you know, she's just different now. Like, are we so attached to things being always the way they were, or are we aware that we're subject to change and that change
you
happens?
have a healthy aspect of it. You have a healthy outlook.
and
So
we-
many are in
yeah.
denial and they don't.
But the other thing is that it's this collective dis-ease we all have, which is misunderstanding.
Yes.
Misunderstanding.
Mhm.
And this kind of a gathering is so beautiful and empowering to me because we come together to try to understand and to listen and share some beautiful, deep experiences. So
Yeah.
I'm just so happy for this gathering.
Me too.
Well done. Thank you, ladies.
Thank you.
And my apologies for cutting off discussion a few minutes too early. Thank you,
Well, we're
everyone
good now.
who came. We like to invite this kind of discussion every month, so we'd love it if you'd want to join us. It's at FEOLDA.org, and our events are listed there. It's the same registration. So thank you, Debra, and thank
Will
you,
this
Amy.
video be available for the general population to watch, or do you have to be a doula
Yes.
member?
It sometimes takes us a minute to get
Yep.
it turned around for the playlist on YouTube,
Yeah.
but that is available. Yes.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. And I would love to join anytime. I love these types of things.
Thank you. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks so much.
Everybody,
Do you have
enjoy
10
their
seconds?
weekend, enjoy their holiday. We've got full
okay.
moon,
Mhm.
April Fools,
Yeah.
Passover, Easter, what's tomorrow? Good Friday.
Yes.
Lots of things to celebrate.
Where are the presenters from? Do you mind me asking?
Boynton Beach, Florida, which South Florida, about a half an hour north of Fort Lauderdale.
Okay.
And I'm
Deborah.
from
Deborah, where are you from?
Georgia, South Georgia.
Oh, okay.
I'm originally from Ohio, but now I've lived down here for about 15 years.
Okay. Thank you, ladies.
Well, thanks,
Bye-bye.
everyone. We'll
Thank
see you
you.
next month.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.